going to become.
Oops. Sorry.
All right, so we didn't know how many people would attend. So what we decided was that the first 6 people who RSVP'd would have 5 minutes to show their art and explain about it. Because if each of us takes 15 minutes, obviously, no, we won't all have time to show. But hopefully everybody here has brought a piece of art. And if we don't have that many people, we'll start off with the first 6 people. They'll tell about their art. And then we'll open it generally. Okay? So I thought today we would start. The TJAA includes musical people as well and movement people. And Sarah Price is our very special violinist. And do you think we should start, Nan?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen,
the first show is Sarah Price.
Hi everyone, I'm the music director, or director of the music division for TJAA. As Lynn already told you, I'm a violinist. I'm based in Fort Worth. I teach, I perform, and do different things and volunteer with TJAA. Instead of performing live for you today, I have a video to show you. It will give you a bit of a better concert experience. And in the video, it's a chamber work from Shostakovich's 5 pieces for 2 violins and piano. It's titled Elegy. And the first violinist is one of my students who started with me, and now he's an adult and a very good player. And I'm playing second violin for him. And we are accompanied by a really good friend and colleague of mine, Jeffrey Yu. And let's see. I need to share my screen with everyone. Let's see. Oh, wow. I already have the access, apparently. Okay.
You're big, bold, and beautiful right now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said you're big and bold and beautiful. You're the center of our screen right now.
Oh, my. I'll back away a little bit.
No, that's terrific. That's terrific. That's what we want.
Okay.
Great.
Can everyone see this?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. So here it goes, and please let me know if for some reason the sound does not work right.
Love it.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I love that piece.
Really
Did y'all
beautiful.
hear it okay?
Yes, we did. So
I
was
shared it straight from QuickTime. I've never done that before, so I was a little nervous on how it's going to work
you
out.
did it very successfully. So
Good.
it was the person on the left, the young man in the, that was
Mm-hmm.
your student. And how long had he learnt with you?
Let's see. About 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it must be a wonderful feeling to play in a group together, which sometimes visual artists don't get that experience. It's sort of visual artists it's a bit more lonely. Well,
True.
thank you so much, Sarah. All right, so the next person that we've got to feature is Barbara Katz.
I'm right here.
Okay, hi, Barbara. Welcome.
Hi, let me get, hold on 1 minute, please. Whoops. I don't have a way to show it to you except holding it up. So, I'm fairly new to the art world. I've been playing with it for maybe 8 years. One thing I do is alcohol ink. Another thing I do is work with books and fold them and color them. So most recently, this is something, oops, I made a dog. I don't know if you can.
Oh, yes.
Oh, he's got a tail.
Um,
He's got a newspaper. Excuse me, my cat is. He's got a newspaper in his mouth. So that was fun. I like to make my own designs.
Barbara, hang on, would you turn that sideways so we can see another view of it,
You
please?
bet.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Is that all the pages in that one book?
Yes, I ripped some out, but a lot of it, yes.
That's awesome.
Turn it sideways again.
I'm
And-
making it up as I go. I don't use a pattern or
it's so cool.
Very
so
good.
that was one. This is something I'm working on now. I call it an ice sculpture.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can see, but I've
Yes.
got
Can we pin her?
kind of like ice over here. You can hear my cat. And it's sort of, again, I'm experimenting, not following a pattern. I'm just playing myself.
Is the shiny stuff glitter?
Yes, it is.
And do you use glue when you're doing these?
Yes, I do sometimes. This,
Oh,
I call this celebration. Got little curls. And I definitely glued on these button type things. I don't know how to,
It looks great.
but it is, here's the sideways.
And
And
did
I fold it.
you paint that? Did you paint the colors on there?
I do that last.
Okay.
So I use, there's a kind of marker I really like. It's a Japanese marker. It's called uni something. And they work beautifully. So I use a lot of those.
I have a question for you. Are these meant for hanging on the wall, or do you close them up and hold it like a sculpture? Do you put it up on the table like a sculpture?
Put them, like I
How do you
have
display?
some on top of my bookcase, more like a sculpture. I use a, what do you call it? The thing to hang them out 3-dimensionally. So they're meant to be more like a sculpture. And
It looks
Also make good mobiles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can go online and find lots of patterns, but that's not what I like to do. I like to make them up myself. I've also done some work with alcohol ink. And here's
Beautiful.
a sample. It's messy, but it's pretty. And last weekend, I took a collage class
Mm-hmm.
from the city of Dallas. So I do other things, but the books are probably my favorite.
And when you do your alcohol inks, do you use a special paper?
Sometimes I use Yupo. Sometimes I use whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have an idea, Barbara, where you could use, who would really, really appreciate it is at the Allen Public Library, there are 4 or 5 huge showcases for artwork. This is exactly in keeping with the books and the sculpture. They would love it.
I've been trying to do it at my library, the Preston Royal, but so I've been dying to do it somewhere.
Yeah, get in touch
And-
with the Allen
Okay.
Library.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Yeah, because what do you do with them all once you've got them? I've got a lot more, but that gives you a sample. Thank you all.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing.
Very nice.
Wonderful.
All right. So, Barbara, that's terrific. Keep folding. My mother told me never to fold anything in a book. So now that you're going wild on books, that's marvelous.
You have to get old books.
Roz, dear, what have you been up to?
I do. This painting behind me,
Yeah,
I don't know if you can see it.
yeah, we can. Yeah,
Let me move my chair.
there we go.
So, during the height of COVID, I was standing in front of this blank canvas, which is 24 by 36 with
Wow.
a huge rim frame. And I thought, well, I am so lonely here by myself. I need some artists to come to my house. So who would I invite to lunch or dinner if I could right now? So I made this painting, which represents a little bit of my favorite artists. Monet's window. I don't know if you can see in Monet's window through
Yeah.
here.
Yes, we can.
For sure.
Monet's window.
Beautiful.
So,
Uh,
Is
so
that
he-
south of France?
Right, the south of France. And then so yes, south of France, and we're at Matisse's residence. And he invites Van Gogh,
Oh, wow.
the yellow.
yeah,
And then we have Matisse himself with the fabric and the tablecloth. Over here, the floor of the apartment is reminiscent of Gustave Caillebotte, the Frenchman who went to war during the Prussian War and unfortunately passed away in battle. But he was a great artist who did all those wonderful floor refinishers, if you recall. And the Kimball has one of his wonderful masterpieces of the couple walking in the rain in Paris with the big black umbrellas. And we have, of course, we cannot forget Cézanne.
so they're
So
all
Wonderful.
here's my COVID homage to my favorite painters.
Well, I'm really glad. Was this a Halloween event when all the ghosts appeared and
Yeah,
you
so
had a
I'm
job?
having an affair with my painting.
Was all 5 of them Roz?
Oh, I love it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Right.
Did it keep you less lonely?
It did, because I chuckled every time I did a part of it. I thought, yay! I said, I couldn't believe it. I got it in. I got them. They're here. I'm living with them. Here they are. But the painting is for sale. I don't have an inch of room in my house. So if anybody's interested, you can buy it. They have to leave and I have to bring new guys in.
That's good.
Thank you.
Very nice, Roz.
All
Lots of fun, and painted in such good spirit.
Thank you, Lynn.
Okay, Judith. Where's Judith? Hi, Judith.
Hi. Can
Welcome.
you come back to me?
Okay, we'll come back to you. All right, so let's skip to Raina. Raina, hi.
Hi.
Okay, Raina, what have you been up to?
So what I wanted to show is this is not art. This is just what art did for me through the pandemic. And I didn't have any supplies and I couldn't go out to get them, but I had lots of magazines and glue. And so I had the idea of doing one collage per month, but of course I didn't have enough magazines either. So I couldn't put, so this is not art, but just what art can do for one. So this is how it felt to me that I started in January.
Well, that's a very artistic start.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then it just changed to February. And then you can see that the colors, this I didn't have anything for, but here in May, I got sick. And you can't see, but I put in my calendar how I felt every day and my temperature and all the rest. And then I wrote a close encounter with COVID-19. And then it just went on the high holidays. And you can see, you know.
Raina, just slow down because the images are so intriguing, but you're going so fast that we're not having a chance to see them.
Oh, so sorry. I
Slow
just
down
did.
so that we can see.
Okay. I didn't want to take more time.
No. Go ahead. This is very interesting.
So this is the high holidays, and I put a clock, or I tried to put a clock in every one because of time. It just seemed like time went on and on and on, and also just not knowing what time was going to bring. And then this was the last one. That was in December, and there was a lot of hope. But here I had in memoriam, we had 324,000 dead. But there was so much hope for me in December because of the, what is it called? The vaccine for everybody. There was talk for that. And the very last one I did, so that was up to December. And the very last one I did the next few months was this one here, which was again just cardboard because I didn't have anything. And that's the three facets of me. This is just, I found this cardboard and I was looking at it and I was thinking of throwing it away, but then I had these emotions still about COVID, still about being isolated. And I had this urge to paint these three entities. And that is, I realized that was me as you know, as I am today, trying to be strong for how I felt when I was young, just starting out in life, kind of treading slowly, not being sure, and a small baby that's often frightened because it doesn't know what the future is about. And I realized this was how I felt at the time. And this adult putting her hand over the shoulder. and that's not how I used art before, because I too am a very late comer, and so I would take pictures and try to copy them, and that's how I did art. But then suddenly art was working for me in a different way, wanting to express whatever was deep down inside. And so
Well,
that
Raina,
was a good thing.
that was
Wonderful.
really
Yeah.
wonderful. And I think that art is not just for putting on a wall for other people to see. I think all of us understand the joy, the avenue of expression that art gives us. So just as Raina used art as probably her best company during these lonely times, and also how when you get into a painting like Roz, you know, she's with these 5 guys, and Raina's with all these different facets of her thoughts. So really, really beautiful and deep and profound, Raina.
Well, I wanted to ask a quick question of everybody else.
Right.
I was like Raina, during COVID found myself limited by my access to supplies,
Right.
but I would think that this COVID period otherwise would be one of a lot of productivity. And I wondered if the artists, because we've been sort of forced to be alone more and have so other fewer things in our lives, if the other artists here found this time to be one of productivity when they had more time to do it, or the opposite. It seems logical that you're alone, you have nothing to do but your art, but I wondered if that was not the case.
Well, who did more art during this time? Raise your hand if you did. Veronique did. Who did less art? Okay.
Menos trabajo.
What I found is that all these bits of papers and stuff,
Pero
I
dígame.
love the way Raina used the
Ah,
okay. All right. Let's,
I'm ready to go now. This is
so
Judith.
our next presenter is going to be Veronique.
Okay.
Oh, no, somebody else is before
Oh
me.
yeah, that's right. Judith.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know I was presenting, so I had to send my husband out.
Oh.
For me, art was really, I've been doing ceramics for about 14 or 15 years, and it's really about sharing with everybody. So I don't know. I started really about making menorahs. That was really what it was about. So here's an example of one, and to me, they're statement pieces. Just something to be out all year long, and you're not something that's just kind of hidden and taken out kind of at the holidays. And I know Hanukkah is really kind of a minor holiday, but here's an example of a menorah that I think can kind of be out year round, and kind of takes a statement in your home. And it's a very creative, unique piece.
Really cool. Where do the candles go?
There are, let me turn it sideways. There are lots of little chimneys
Oh,
Oh,
so
how
cool.
wonderful.
kind of all over,
Love that.
and all the little places. I don't know, you can kind of see the candles kind of stick in.
Oh, how beautiful.
Like
It's
that.
ceramic?
It's ceramic, yeah.
And is it a brown? I can't see it very well on my camera. Is it brown or
It is a reddish clay.
beautiful?
And then it
Really
has
lovely.
a greenish kind of roof. I don't know, look, my lighting's just terrible.
Yeah.
It's because you have the light behind you.
Yes, yeah, it is not a very good room for this. And here's another one that was kind of, it's kind of a curved shape.
Fun.
Oh my goodness.
And I do other ones where they're just individual little houses, and, we tuck them around the house, on different bookshelves, and, they kind of come out, again in clusters as the holiday progresses. They come out from wherever they're hiding around the house, and, kind of come together. And again, this has a series of little chimneys and of things. And
So On that one, did you do the roof separately and then glue it together, or the whole piece is one piece?
It all has to come together before the first firing. So it's all pieced together before the firing. Yeah, it all has to, and I've had some pieces that come apart and they get trashed, right? Yeah, it's a definite, a very technical thing to kind of come together. And then recently I've been really playing around with Raku.
Oh, that's
Oh,
You take a piece and, here's an example of Raku, which is a fast firing method, really kind of done a lot in Japan. And this is with horsehair, all those little fine lines is horsehair placed on the vessel.
Oh my gosh.
where do you
Those are
do your
wonderful.
firing? Do you have a kiln at home?
I do. Actually, I have 3 kilns at home.
Gosh, wow.
One Raku kiln and then 2 other kilns, one that I do glass in, one that I do my ceramics, my bisque and my glazing, and then I have a Raku kiln. And then here'd be another example of Raku.
beautiful.
Is that also horsehair?
This is also horsehair, and the dots are sugar. And then I use other kinds of other materials to get the red and the yellow and different colors kind of going on.
Are you using porcelain?
These are, I do some porcelain. This is actually just a B mix, just kind of a pretty standard cone 10 B mix on there. Yeah, so.
Do you teach?
People have been asking me about that. I am actually working on getting the right insurance so that I can actually bring people out. And I want to actually do some classes. What I want to do with the Raku is actually bring people out and do little workshops where maybe I already have the piece. People come out and do the finished part, where I'll give you maybe a blank piece. We fire it up. You come and do, maybe put on the horsehair and the sugar, or you put on some of this color. And then in an hour and a half, you leave with a finished piece. Kind of maybe as a date.
Can we sign up?
Oh,
Yeah.
we signed up. We're
I
signed up.
want to do a menorah.
Where do you live?
I live in Little Forest Hills over near the Arboretum.
Oh, okay.
Terrific.
Oh,
I could do that.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like just too much fun.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Check. We all want to do it.
Yes,
Awesome.
we have
Okay,
to have
we'll
a
keep that in
TJAA
mind.
thing.
Great.
All right.
What-
So Veronique, you're next.
Then I've got a question for Judith.
Yeah.
What do you use to burn in your Raku firing?
I use natural gas. I have it plumbed right into the natural gas, so that I don't have to worry about changing tanks or anything. And then for the smoke, it's a combination of wood chips and newspaper.
Wow, fantastic. Do you know Linda Chidsey? She does a lot of Raku stuff.
I don't. I'm actually fairly new to Dallas. We just moved here
Oh,
not too long
Where did you
ago.
move
So
from?
just kind of getting used to the area and meeting people. And recently there was a studio tour here, and I met somebody who suggested this group. And so I've just joined and getting.
Well,
Where did you move
welcome.
from?
well, we're very happy to have you burning along with us.
Me too. Thank you.
We can't wait for a workshop.
Yes, we want a workshop.
Cool.
Yeah, and I'm happy to have other kiln artists.
Yeah. Oh, Nan, how many kilns have you got?
Only 7 now. I got rid of one. Another one is leaving next weekend. I'm kind of paring down, getting ready to abandon ship.
You're not abandoning all of them, are you?
I'm taking some with me, and
Okay.
I actually have somebody who's taking over my teaching business.
Oh,
Really?
terrific.
Yes, she's a TJA member. It's Jordan Taub.
Who?
Say that again.
Jordan Taub.
Oh, very nice.
Nan is a glass artist for the new people. Okay. All right, Veronique, your go.
Okay, I'm a little bit embarrassed to share with you. I just thought I'm going to do something fun for a change, because and the theme seems to be COVID, apparently, for a lot of us artists. And when COVID started, I was looking for something to challenge myself to paint every day, So I decided I'm going to do these little canvases. Can you see me?
Oh,
I don't think I'm on.
You are
But I
pinned.
don't see myself, so I don't know how much you're seeing.
We're seeing it perfectly.
Okay, so I was starting to do cows, and I challenged myself to do little cows every week. After one cow, I decided these cows have to have a little bit more of a fun twist to them, because I needed to make it a fun project. So the first one that came about was this one.
Cowed by COVID.
Yeah, Calvin. And this one was called Blues. This is Blue Cow. This one was Royalty.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
And
hold them up a bit slower, Veronique.
Oh, sorry. I thought I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No.
So this is Royalty. This is Julius Caesar.
Ah, great.
Oh my goodness me.
And then I decided to do Mutis.
Oh, I love that one.
Mondrian, Mondrian.
Mondrian, that's right. And this one's called Dottie.
Goofy.
She's a little dotty because that's how we felt during COVID, right? This one is called Flower Child.
Oh, this is beautiful. I love all their different eyes. Each one
Yeah.
has got different
I
eyes.
just had so much fun doing it. It just brought a smile to my face. And this one is called Purple Cow.
There used to be a restaurant called Purple Cow.
That's right. And these are my two-step cows. Just two-step.
Very good.
And this one's called Vitamin C Cow.
Oh, wow.
And then, we all got into this Zoom thing, so I decided to make a communicator cow.
Communicator.
And then I was reflecting on how I spent a lot of time in the kitchen during COVID. So this is my chef cow.
Mm.
And then there was the elections.
Oh.
And who's this? This is Trump cow.
It's who?
Trump cow.
Trump cow.
See the hair?
Oh.
Yes.
And smirk. And then I said to myself, holy cow, this is just too much. But what I did do, well, let me backtrack. In the middle of it all, my brother died.
Oh, dear.
And he was a fantastic photographer. So I did this in his honor, and I called this the photographer cow.
Just lift it up a bit so we can see the camera. Okay.
So this is my photographer cow. So what I did with all these, because everybody said, oh, they're so cute, let's do something with them. So I created a Calvert book.
Oh,
And I've got them all in here. And I've put little sayings next to it, like feeling blue. Did anybody ever feel blue this way during COVID?
sí.
Purple cow. Basically just making fun of all my cows and finding little statements for all of them. And then the very last page was dedicated to my brother, of course. And I put them up on sale for $20. It cost me $10 to make, and the profits are going to Doctors Without Borders. So that's been my project, starting from, being isolated to finding a way of being expressive, to finding a little bit of humor in what we were going through. And eventually I thought I needed to dedicate it to something that my brother would really appreciate, because he was a scientist, and I did a lot of research as to, different organizations, and Doctors Without Borders definitely makes a huge impact in underdeveloped countries, as you know. But during COVID, they also are trying to promote vaccines and trying to help these countries get up to speed with vaccines. So that's what I've been up to.
Wow. Very
So if anybody wants to buy
inspiration.
a book, mail it to them. $20.
Veronique, why cows?
This was fun.
Calvert.
Why
I've
cows?
always loved cows because I've always loved cows. I don't eat cows. I just love the look of them. And it's the first time I've actually painted a cow, but this has started me on a new journey. And my daughter moved to Vermont, and there's lots of cows there. And I'm trying to do a lot more cow paintings, but more serious cow paintings.
Well, that's absolutely sensational and inspirational. Wow, look what a fun project you created.
Well, it's been fun. It's been a fun project.
Okay.
Thank you for
Now,
listening.
there are people who are here who are not on this list who would like to show us what they've done, who's not on the list so far. Angie, you're going to end off giving us a piece, okay? But who else is here?
Mark, do you have anything to share with us?
I didn't know the rest of us were supposed to bring anything, but actually I don't. The last few pieces I've done are actually representations of friends I have, so you won't recognize them. Also, I've given them away to them, but I've kind of branched off into doing people I know abstractly, and it's been fun, but I don't have them.
Do you have anything to show us?
Go on to the next one and I'll grab something.
Okay, so while he does that, then I'm going to show mine, okay?
Cool.
Nan, can you pin me? Can you see this?
No, it's too blurred. Hold it back. Hold it back. Yeah. Too far. Come back. Much better. Okay.
All right, so this piece began at an estate sale. And I love going to estate sales. And in this one, it was in a huge house in Highland Park. And I was rummaging through her closet and I found all these kind of papers that she had in rolls. And so when I came back, I was so excited by the patterns that I decided to do a collage. And as usual, at the time, I was very upset about what we were doing to the oceans.
Can you lift it, please?
Okay. And so I decided to do possibly an underwater scene. Anyway, so I started tearing the papers and gluing them together. And then when I asked my kids, you know, what they saw, somebody said they saw an elephant. And what I was trying to do was create these sort of seaweed things. And then here, three creatures who were in kind of a bubble, trying to have a conference about how to solve the ocean's problems. Anyway, I think it's sufficiently abstract, so anyone who looks at it will interpret it just the way they will. It's a sort of piece that it definitely has a position, because sometimes when I'm doing abstract stuff, you know, turning stuff sideways, but then when you look at it, you know, the way that the black traces through here and then it's balanced up there, and then the sort of white fishy type things that are going through here. So I just find that dancing and playing with these things just is it's interesting. So that's it.
That's really cool.
Thank you. All right. So has a piece been discovered?
Yes, yes. So I'm really new to TJAA too, and I'm just a hobbyist that has kind of discovered making stuff in the last few years. And I just like finding, you know, wood and rusty pieces of metal and all that, and creating mainly animals. I'm one of those people that sees faces everywhere you look in various things. So if I see a piece of metal that makes me think of an animal, I make an animal. And so this was this is a rusty. This is just a rusty sickle that you can imagine a pole would be on it for hacking. And to me, the simpler the better. You add an eye and ears, and it's a rhino in my world.
He's fantastic.
He's great.
And thank you. And I've learned in my short period, I've already learned how the simpler the better. If I see something intrinsic, this is one that people, if I don't name my pieces, So does anybody know what this piece is, this metal piece?
Oh, yeah, it's a lid.
A tea
Oh.
kettle.
And tell me what that is?
Show it to us. You just flashed it.
Sorry,
through.
sorry. Ignore the animal for now. It's ceramic with a porcelain with a little handle.
It's a kettle, tea kettle.
Tea kettle.
Not quite. I'm in the medical field. This is an old urinal. And to me, you add the right teeth and ears and it's a hippo. Although many people say it's a pig, which is fine. So it's a hippo. And this is the only one I've ever named. I named this one the hippopotamus. So I do fun stuff with just animals, and some are the ones that I actually try to create an animal. I find I'm not as satisfied as the ones that are intrinsically just need an eye and an ear and they're an animal. So that's been fun.
What material do you use when you?
I literally find, wood and stuff on the street or, just junk. And then I go to Canton. That's why I've been limited. I used to go to Canton every month or so and just find, rusty metal and rusty stuff. And I haven't, because of COVID, I haven't gone for over a year. So I'm kind of, my supply base is dwindling and I'm having to make do. And so I've been doing more and more with wood that I can always find wood on the street.
Yeah.
So I'm coming up with new inspirations for the wood. And with the recent TJAA show at the Federation, I was the first time I've ever entered anything, but it's the first time even though it wasn't a Jewish theme, I actually made pieces with a theme in mind instead of saying, oh, this looks like whatever, I'll make it. So that was kind of fun to do something, create something with an intent. And now I've sort of done these family ones again, because I have all these loose little parts that you can make into people without having a urinal, say. So they've been real fun and they keep me out of my wife's hair. So that's kind of what I do. It's just junk art, but it's 99% animals.
Well, I think that one of the values of being an artist is not just to create great art, but what it does to your mind, how we start seeing things, I think, in a different way from other people. Especially if you're like a junk guy and I dumpster dive and I pick stuff off the sidewalk and so on. And I've got so much junk in my house that could be transformed that I need another lifetime.
But I've definitely learned that some people I'll show my animal to and they'll see a totally different animal than I created. And there's some people who see exactly what I see, no matter what. And the thing being, again, new to art world, the thing that I was really interested in, there's one piece I have that half the people think it's one thing. And they taught me that if you look at it left to right, it's one thing. And you look the other way, if I present it the other way, it's different. Because I guess we're used to looking left to right when we read. So people see, that's what they told me. They see art left to right because that's how we read. And so depending on how I might put the piece down, they see different things. I'm learning all these new things. Whether they're right or not, I don't know, but it sounded good.
Well, what is intriguing is the way different people see your piece of art.
Absolutely.
I'll often paint a painting that's kind of abstract or whatever. And I find it useful to say to people, what do you see? Okay. Or what did you see first in my painting? Or which part of the painting do you like the best? And sometimes it's absolutely astonishing what people see in your work that you haven't seen before. Who would like to comment on that?
I'd like to know the painting behind you, Lynn.
Oh,
yeah.
What were you thinking there?
Well, this painting, I was at an estate sale, and in the backyard among the junk was this big metal piece that was like a gate. And that was this curly stuff here. So I decided I was into spray painting. And so I bought this huge white canvas and I stuck this piece of metal on in my backyard on a huge big sheet and then I sprayed. And I used black and gold. And then I just came in and with some gold paint, put it in. So I do puppets. So this is quite a very nice background. And what I was doing with black and gold was sort of highlighting, playing with edges. Because one of the things in painting is lost edges and found edges. So when you want something to come forward, you have to make a very sharp edge. If you want stuff to recede, like here, you just leave it as a misty edge. So it's like a puzzle, and just keeps me occupied. I've got 2 of these, and I tried to get them the same, but nothing ever ends up the same. So that's
Wonderful.
yeah. All right, Angie, not that we're going to end, it's 3:50 now. We're supposed to end at 4:30. But let's have Angie do her bit for us. Where are you, Angie?
I'm here, I promise. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to try because I'm playing the ukulele underneath me, and if it doesn't sound right, let me know. Hello, hello, hello.
Beautiful.
You can hear the ukulele? Okay, great. So I love everything that you guys do. It's just absolutely amazing and unfathomable to me. I am not a physical artist in any way, shape, or form, but I write music. I write Jewish music. And this one, to use the parlance of TJAA, the paint is still very wet. So I'm not sure this is the final form of this. I literally started the idea of it last weekend and finished it about 15 minutes ago. So hopefully this goes all right. And I am still dependent on the words. So if I have to pause to move the Word document down, give me a little grace. If you've ever seen a rainbow that took your breath away, if you've ever smiled on waking to find a brand new day, if you've ever run into the rain to dance your cares away, there's a blessing in that. If you've been kept away from loved ones and now hold them in your arms, if you've been on an adventure and arrived home safe from harm, if you've gazed up at the night sky and found a shooting star, there's a blessing in that. 100 blessings is what our sages say we need to find each day, a scavenger hunt of praise. Every day's a new chance to choose, to fill our lives with gratitude. Next page. If you've ever held a newborn, looked into their ageless eyes, if you've ever smelled a fragrant flower and exhaled with a sigh, if you've ever seen a piece of art through overflowing eyes, there's a blessing in that. 100 blessings is what our sages say we need to find each day, a scavenger hunt of praise. Every new day brings a chance to choose, to fill our lives with gratitude. So while you're counting up your blessings, open up your eyes. All those daily little miracles are all right here to find, whether shouting out or singing or whispers in your mind. Say your blessings for that. You've got to say your blessings for that. Thank you for being my guinea pigs. That's first time.
Beautiful.
Ew, thank
That
you.
is beautiful. So Angie, do you write the words first or do you do the music first?
This one weirdly, usually I start with a melody. Usually
Yeah.
it's a melody and I can't get it out of my head, and so I have to put some words to it. And sometimes I go to the Siddur and I find the words there and just reset a blessing. Other times, like this one, it just wasn't gonna, this is not a liturgical type of melody. And so I was just kind of playing around with this melody. I couldn't, and I had the idea from, you know, the rabbis talk about you need to have the 100 blessings, and it's all built into the liturgy of how you say the blessings every day, the 3 times a day prayers. And then, but you still, that doesn't get you to 100. You still have to find other ones. And so I had that idea and wanted to kind of list out all of those daily things that we don't necessarily go stop and take the joy in. And so this one is a different process for me because I was writing the lyrics and the melody at the same time. So it just come out, and it's frankly I'm not sure I'm done writing it. I'm not sure it's coming out the same way every time I go through it yet. So like I said, the paint is still very wet. I think I've got the chords, but I'm not entirely sure, and I'm not sure that the words will stay exactly the way they are either.
And how long have you been singing and making up music?
Oh, those are 2 very different things. I've been singing since I was 2.
Okay.
My mother has a recording of me singing Ahavat Olam in a very thick Texas accent at 3 years old. Ahavat Olam. Yeah. She's got that. I started writing music. In fact, it didn't even occur to me that I could write music, because you know I sing liturgy, and you don't change liturgy. Liturgy is liturgy. So it wasn't until I started going to some of these song leader conferences and realized people are writing out there. Lots of people are writing some beautiful things, and I finally had a use for all those melodies that were running through my head. So that actually started when I was about 35.
So do you actually write your music in notes on a piece of paper?
Some of them I do. Some of them I just record and I keep the lead sheets. But yeah, sometimes I'll jot it all down in sheet music. If someone in particular has asked me if they can use a piece of mine, I'll write it out for them.
And have you ever taught?
Taught? No. No, nobody would learn anything from me.
Are you a cantor?
Huh?
Are you a cantor? Do you?
I am not. I'm a cantorial soloist. And actually, that's not entirely true. I do bar and bat mitzvah training.
Oh, wonderful.
I do that, but not songwriting. Although I thought it was the cutest thing ever. One of my students, I was explaining, you know, there's a part in the prayer that says the sages and the psalmists of Israel, and I was explaining what sages and psalmists are because people don't talk in that language anymore. Kids don't know what those are unless you tell them. And I said, you know, a psalmist is someone that writes poetry and sings song, you know, sacred texts. And she goes, oh, like you. And I said, awesome. I am now a staff accountant and psalmist.
Fantastic. That's beautiful. And do you have you ever made a formal recording of your work, like a record or a?
I'm on the way to getting that done. I was starting to think about it right about the time COVID hit. But now that it looks like I've talked to a recording studio and I've gotten all my friends on board, and so maybe sometime before the summer.
That would be beautiful. Well, that's gorgeous. Anybody else want to ask Angie some questions?
Yeah, I'd like to address both Angie and Sarah. One of the things that has struck me in listening to everybody is how the visual arts create something permanent where the performing arts are very ephemeral. And Angie, you're going into recording, you're going to create something permanent. But Sarah, how do you feel about that? Where you give a performance and what if it's not your best performance? I mean, if I create something and I don't think it's my best, it goes in the closet. I don't have to show it to anybody. How do the two of you feel about that?
Um, as a as a trained classical musician, I'll do other things, but um, for me, it's very nerve-wracking because that was one reason when I asked you if this recording was going to go online or not, because I had to be careful, like, oh, did I have enough time to perfect something in time. And then some cases maybe it's probably doesn't matter as much as I think it does. But for me, it's very nerve wracking because once it's out there, you can't get it back and you can't really redo it. I guess you can, but it's not the same. So, I mean, for me, I feel really nervous about it, but it is something I need to work on because things are going to be more online going forward. So, but what about you, Angie?
Yeah, my heart's still going. Absolutely. I, like I said, I literally finished that song while we were sitting here because I didn't feel like I had anything other than what I was working on that might serve as an ending. One thing they teach us a lot in these song leader camps is the utility. What is the song you're going to use, and what is the intention you want out in the world with that piece of music. And so I figured at the end of something like this, maybe it's something a little more lightning than than just singing a song. I could sing a song and I wouldn't be nervous at all. But putting something out with intention like that, you really hope it lands well, which is why I put a whole lot of disclaimers in front. I put you all in the frame of mind of this is not going to be perfect, so I didn't have to strive to be perfect. I just needed it to get out.
And there's some days too, like I know what Nan was saying about, like, if she doesn't like it, it doesn't go out. Sometimes
Right.
you don't have a choice. Like, you know, I got really injured back in 2019. I have this injury that keeps popping up, and sometimes it will pop up when I practice a lot, which is before a performance always, so, and I'm really worried about that's gonna wreck the performance because nobody knows, because if you look healthy, obviously it should be fine, but it's like doing this, I've like damaged a tendon from just doing it for so long, and those minute movements, and I feel like for me that causes a lot of nervousness because it's like it can be something really dumb like that can just kind of derail it, and you don't really have a choice. You can't just cancel your well, you
Right.
just can't cancel your concert, as you know. But
I was wondering, do you have a profession or job outside of your music? Or I was wondering, like, Angie, you said you're an accountant, and I get the impression some of us are, we have a career or profession, but we do this. But others of you, I think maybe Nan, you're in this shape. Your art is your profession, your job. You be it performing, be it teaching, and I wonder what it's like for those of you that the art is actually your whole life. In every, it's not the change from the break from the normal. It is for some of us who do it as a hobby, but it's different than art. How do you differentiate your career of art, your performing, from your teaching, from your other manifestations of your art in your life?
well, they all conflict. That's always been the biggest problem. Like my teaching schedule will conflict with the orchestra and vice versa, and that is just something that will always happen. But yeah, it constantly changes, of course, thanks to COVID. But it's yeah, to me, the constant changing, not knowing what to expect, is kind of very nerve-wracking, like kind of like not already hating getting videos out there, and now that's kind of like, oh, now that's your only option. So to me, like, but in a way it can still be good because it's something I just have to work on. But I don't know if I don't know, did I answer your question?
You did. I mean, are there times, like, we all get tired? Are there times you get sick of your work, but yet you love your art of music?
Yes, all
The
the
freedom
time.
to perform or whatever.
Yes.
Well, as a teacher, let me say this. I was performing with Big Thought and going into schools doing interactive puppetry and also doing art with kids. And coming from South Africa, where we never had television growing up, one of the dangers I find in America is if you look at an episode of Sesame Street, which was my inspiration for puppetry, you have to realize that 15 years ago, it cost $250,000 to do a half-hour episode of Sesame Street. And I would say that each episode is absolutely perfect. So now, do you expect me, who has to make my own puppets and schlep down to a school and put up a little set and so on, to be as perfect as Sesame Street? No. So I deliberately make mistakes when I'm doing shows or when I'm performing. My puppets are not perfect. They sometimes fall off my hands. The hair comes off the puppet, because I want the bar that we set for ourselves sometimes annihilates the start, the enthusiasm. We're not good enough.
Yeah.
And if you look at art through the ages, I mean, when the Bushmen or these caves in France, when ancient man painted things on the cave walls, did they have this idea of it's not good enough? And I think as artists, we sometimes strangle our creativity. What I love about, are you absolutely sure that if Monet went into your room, Ros Bodiford, he would approve of the way you copied him? Wasn't perfect. And I think there has to be a sort of a so what if it's not perfect attitude. Certainly when I paint, I'm never going to be Michelangelo. A, because I don't spend enough time trying to be him and doing art. And B, I'm not Michelangelo. And so my attitude is, it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. I've just wonderfully enjoyed the process. So Edith, I've been watching you, and it says Edith Torres Fine Art. So have you got something to show us? What's behind you? Oh, we can't hear you, Edith. Unmute yourself. Do you know how to unmute? That little red thing in the corner, on the left-hand bottom corner.
Now,
There we go.
now,
Yes.
I'm sorry, my English is not very well, but I can show my board.
We would love
I working in different style. I working in ink, ink on canvas, and oil and acrylic.
Okay.
This is my, espera, lo tengo que voltear. Wait.
Beautiful. Yeah.
This is
Wow.
is abstract. I working with translucence and many color is my specialty.
Yes, you love color. Love color.
Thank you very much. And this is dripping.
Drip work, yes. Beautiful.
Wait, I don't know what. It's,
Have you been painting for a long time?
yes, ¿me da el cambio? I painting, I have 23 years.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
Beautiful. Oh,
And this is ink on canvas.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
lovely.
Edie,
Yeah.
where do you come from?
I come from, wait. I born in Colombia, but I grew up in Spain.
Ah,
And I living in Puerto Rico 14 years.
oh, I love that.
And now I living here in Dallas 5 years.
Okay.
And
That's beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
I
Yeah,
also like those little black and white ones that were on the wall higher up.
and the hair,
Yes,
this
those.
is ink on paper,
Ink.
ink,
Alcohol ink.
yes, on paper. And
Did you use a brush with that?
I use it, ¿en qué me preguntó? Yeah, no, I use it in soplar.
Straw and blowing.
Straw and blowing.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
And this is in wood.
Oh. These are all alcohol ink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful colors, lovely compositions. Very nice. Yeah.
And this.
So your studio is at home. Did you ever teach art?
No.
But she is planning for it.
Oh, okay.
The whole COVID and all that situation put everything on hold. But she is actually looking into it, and Edith is actually graduated in art. And
I had a master of art education.
Okay.
And museology.
yeah.
Especially in museology.
So I'm the guilty why we are here. So I got the company relocation 2014. And then we moved here. So for Edith, it was like starting over again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she's doing good. So she has a studio here in our home in Plano.
Right. Oh, you're in Plano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, one day we'll have to do some workshops with you, Edith.
Thank you. Yes. Look, this.
Oh,
wow. That's fabulous.
This alcohol
again?
Ink.
Alcohol ink.
Yes, on canvas.
Wow.
Fabulous effects. And do you prime your canvases with gesso before you do them?
Yes. I prime my canvas with gesso.
Yes. Very delicate.
This painting is fue elegida en Suiza.
Okay, so that was on exposition in Switzerland.
Oh,
this.
Yeah.
Very delicate colors and lovely compositions.
Sí. Thank you.
Very nice. Wow. And that one on the wall behind it, that's a beautiful one.
Oh, and what this?
Yes.
Love.
I love it.
This is oil.
Oil. Wow.
Oil. Oh, this is encaustic.
Encaustic.
Encaustic. And I like work in big format. This is an.
Wow, Edith, what a colorful house.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
Well,
and I can tell you when through the pandemic,
yes,
I know one working. I tenía miedo, Urban.
Yeah, she was afraid here.
I afraid I know one working.
It was really stressful, and but now I think after we got the vaccination shot and seems like.
But this painting helped me.
Yeah, that expresses your yeah, this COVID has been dreadful for all of us.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've had Nan, tell about all the shows that we've had with TJA.
All the shows over.
Well, these are new people. So right now, TJAA is functioning differently. Like we had the show at, you know, that nobody's seeing that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In normal times, we have at least 2 shows a year. One is an open membership show where everybody gets to submit at least one piece of work that will definitely be shown, depending on the size of the venue. And the other show is a juried show. So that's a juried show is more prestigious, and we have a juror, another artist, or somebody from the art world look at the art and choose it based on quality of craftsmanship. Does it fit the theme? Just on and on, whatever the parameters of the show are. And because we have so many members in both Dallas and Fort Worth, we try to have one show in Dallas and one in Fort Worth, and then switch each year. Going forward, once we open up again, I don't know what we'll have. It may be different.
But usually at those shows, we have an opening and everybody meets each other.
Yes.
And where are some of the places we've held the shows?
The Eisman Center in Richardson, Fort Worth Community Arts Center in Fort Worth, Jewish Community Center in Dallas, North Haven Gardens Gallery in Dallas, Museum of Biblical Arts in Dallas. Where else have we done in Fort Worth? Veronique, any place in Fort Worth other than the Art Center?
I think just the Art Center.
We did a synagogue, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Didn't we do Sheriff's? I don't know.
There was a synagogue in Fort Worth. Angie, were you a member at that time?
Did you do it at Bethel?
I don't remember this. It might have been before me.
Might have been before you joined.
I think.
Was it like in in a small room in the synagogue? Yeah, that's Bethel. They love doing art shows in that boardroom.
I think that was just Julie, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, Julie had a show there, but I don't think we did as a group. I might.
And I know Marvin Bielik has done a show there of his mosaics.
And the Museum of Biblical Arts really worked very well with us. And in fact, Veronique, your work was put up there, wasn't it? At the Museum of Biblical Arts?
Yeah, quite a few people were. Yeah, Julie, Nan. Who else was with us then, Nan? That one.
I wasn't with you in that show. I had a separate show at the museum. Jan Friedman, Julie Mittal Berman. Who else?
There were 4 of us, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember the 4th person. I don't know that the 4th person was a TJAA member, because you were at.
No, I think we were. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But the point is that we did work with the biblical arts, and it's been, it's nice to have different venues. It's very hard to find venues. So if you new people have ideas.
I do have an idea.
Great.
Well, I wanted to ask you, are the shows right now jury, the Federation and the
yeah.
They're both jury.
They're not jury, they're curated.
Correct.
The difference is that the venue, whoever is running the show for the venue, gets to decide what work comes in, but it's not based on artistic craftsmanship. It's based on what will fit, what works, what they will accept. They get carte blanche as to what they accept in their shows.
Okay.
So very different than a juried show or an open membership show.
And also, we were also invited to participate in the Jewish Historical Show online.
Yes.
The bathhouse is about to have a show for 65 and up, if anybody. I think the last day to submit your entry was yesterday, however. But you might watch them. They have a nice venue.
Oh, at the Bathhouse Cultural Center.
Yeah, we need somebody. We've talked about Bathhouse since we've started, and we cannot get ourselves in there. I don't know why. I think their waiting list is so long that every time we go to them, it's kind of off-putting. It's like, oh yeah, you can have a show in 3 years' time. But it's, you know, so it's not easy to get in there. So if anybody wants to be in charge, somebody who would like to head up that side of it, wouldn't that be great, Nan?
Yes. I know that Kim Court has talked to Sarah Jane Parsons at TCU Gallery, and she's going to report back to us this week. So hopefully we'll have a show there. But when I talked to Sarah Jane about it last summer, they were looking at 2023 for a show. So it's, you know, year and a half away yet.
Another venue might be some of the library, local. A lot of them have display areas.
Well, I think also what we need to bear in mind is TJAA has artists that have been doing art for 40 years, and then artists who've just started.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very inclusive association. We want to get to know each other, you know, and hopefully, who gave lessons at the Museum of Biblical Arts? That very
Jamie,
Well, who?
Jamie Pink,
That's right.
Weisbrod.
Pink did mosaic lessons, and anyone who wanted to come could go.
Yes.
And then who does that abstract art with ribbons and net and lace and stuff?
That's oh God, too many senior moments, guys. I'm sorry.
These wild abstract paintings.
She does a lot of promotion. She's really good at promoting stuff. And also she had a show, I know exactly who you're talking about, her name will come to me, but she had a show in a light, light fixture store. They had beautiful empty walls because their focus was on lighting. Yeah. And so she had her own show there. So, you know, we could think out of the box. I think we're just all a little bit burnt out for those of us who've on this. But if anybody can think of something, and if you think of something, go ahead and reach out to that organization or that company and come back to us. Maybe we can do something. Yeah. We don't have to wait for a meeting.
Yeah, the board is very open to new suggestions, and we are not, we don't do the same thing every year. We always are looking for new things to try and to do.
What's also been nice during my membership with the TJAA is that some artists like Linda Chidsey had the TJA come over to her house where she demonstrated and her raku firing. So if any of you in your studio would like to invite people over, you know, normally we don't have 50 or 60 people. It might just be 8 or 10 or 15 people that come over. And I think these little kind of small events that connect us to each other are very important. So if any of you want to do stuff like that, just contact the board.
I don't know about you, but I've been going out everywhere these days, and as long as you've been triple vaccinated, I think we're okay. We can start having our meetings back together again. How does everybody feel?
Well, I've unfortunately been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis.
No, Lynn,
so I'm on medications that prevent me from going out. So I'm just sitting here.
Compromised, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching Europe, and they're having a hard time with it again. So I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen here with the winter and.
Yeah.
We still have
You
It
know,
doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can get together in person, those who can, and still Zoom in those that can't.
yeah.
We're not going to go from nothing to everything. So right away, at least.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm enjoying not driving from Fort Worth.
Sure.
Don't blame you.
Understandable.
Nan, should we aim at looking at having a new show at the JCC perhaps for the spring?
If you would like to look into it, go right ahead. I'm not going to be available at that time.
Do we have a new board coming on board?
We have new members. Lynn and Rosalind are new members, and Monica and Stephanie Held are brand new members. They joined last month.
I mean, they joined the board?
They joined the board last month.
Fantastic.
So the board is growing. I am kind of stepping back a bit. I don't know who is going to take over for me.
We've
but-
arranged kidnappers.
You weren't supposed to say anything.
I'm so sorry. This just has to be. We have to make this move. My husband has some health issues, and we've got to go and make the move before, well, we still can.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go be with family. I can still join by Zoom if we can keep having some of the functions on Zoom.
This has been really fun. You've done a great job, and great job,
Really have.
Lynn. Thank you for directing this whole thing. This was wonderful.
You're welcome. I have a question. So if I want to phone somebody, like I want to call Angie to talk to about songwriting, where do I get your phone number?
That's a very good question. I can give you my phone number, but I don't know if there's a directory.
I have the directory, and we have not published it because a lot of people don't want their name out. Maybe that's something that we should talk about. Should we have a TJAA member directory that we give out to members?
I
think we'd like to. You know, I'm writing some witch poems, and I want to know if Sarah Price wants to put violin music to the witch poem. How do I get in touch with people?
We could just email you.
But in any case, if you've joined TJAA, you've filled out a form, right? And you've got your phone number and your emails on there. So it's a matter of just.
I've got the list.
Okay.
If the
answer,
if everybody wants a member list, and
well, is anybody here opposed to having a list?
I'm not opposed, but I don't really want everybody just having my number. Like my email would be fine, but just not.
That's
my
why I haven't sent anything out. Not everybody wants their phone number.
In other words, if I want to speak to you, I email you and say, Sarah, can you please email me?
That works.
You can
Let's do emails.
Yeah, you can always go on the TJAA website. Every member has a page, and every page has an email link. So if you ever want to find anybody, you can do that.
Okay.
So the newer members also have their names in there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
As soon as somebody joins, I make a page for them.
Perfect.
How do we add more things to it? You've been doing it, but who's going to take over that, Nan?
I'll probably hang on to it for quite a while.
Okay.
It's not been a big deal for me. I've been doing websites for years. And once I'm not teaching anymore and working 70 hours a week, I'll have a little more time to focus on things like that. So just send it to me, Barbara. I'm happy to do it.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Everybody raise your hand and wave.
Thank you.
Enjoy
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
This was
Bye.
fun.
Hi, everybody. This was wonderful.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting, Lynn.
Okay, keep arting, guys. Keep arting.
Mark, next time I see you, I'll have a junk box for you.
Oh, I think he left.
I think so.
Yeah, because he knew you were going to say that. Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yes,
very
thank
much.
you for coming, Nancy.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
it's a
you.
blast.
Lovely to meet you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.